If you want to be the best, go to EOW. Period.
Yo, it's your boy SKANDOUZ, the hip hop original, and we're here for season 4 of the head-to-head interview series. This is episode number 4, and I'm joined by 2 of my good friends, absolute legends in the UK hip hop scene. You know, beautiful to have a chance to sit and talk to you about this amazing event that's coming up. So without further ado, let me introduce to you my man Maslow and the one and only Apex Zero.
Love family.
So we got so much to talk about, man. But I want to jump straight in. I want to give our viewers a bit of background into who.
A bit of depth.
You know.
Jeez.
Who is Maslow, man?
Maslow, rhyming enigma, entrepreneur type brother, fingers in many pies. I'm here to spread that positive message with my butterfly effect and keep it 100 to what I believe.
Wicked.
You know? Simple life.
Simple life. You know, MC, lyricist.
Wow.
So I know you're underselling right now, so I'm gonna have to pick you up. So I'm gonna pick you up, man.
You know what I mean? You
Serious.
can't plug yourself like you're meant to. I am that guy!
That guy. Champion MC, lyricist, producer, host with the most, all of that good stuff,
I love
you know?
that good stuff.
Master freestyler.
Master freestyle for many
I
a
do
millennia.
this, I won't even lie.
Also captain of one of the baddest crews in the UK right now.
New gods!
New Guards.
New gods!
Yes, man. So, you know, I have to salute that each and every time. And to the right of me, the one and only Apex, man. Let the people know who Apex Zero is.
I'm a brother. I am multidisciplinary artist, MC, producer, beatmaker, filmmaker, writer. I does this too. In
Yeah.
a few different fields, you get me? So, yeah.
I'm gonna remember that one for next time. Multidisciplinary artist.
Multidisciplinary artist. Again with the underselling, man. Lyricist. God. Dangerous lyricist. Oh my God.
Revolutionist.
Mastermind behind the camera as well. Not just in front of it. Also, director of an incredible piece of art that's out right now, man. Tell us about this piece.
Drummer,
bro.
man. Drummer, warrior, storyteller. It's you know them ones. It's an honor to be the one who gets to bring this piece of work into the world. You know them ones, and it's like I said, I work in a lot of different mediums, and I wanted to make a project that brings them all together. So I was trying to push the boundaries of what an album can be, and kind of mix the love I have for real, you know, writing and album music creation with that kind of spontaneity of something. You know, when you're in a dance or you're in a rave and you're in the moment, and it only exists in that moment. So kind of bring those two things together to create what I'm calling a living album. So we you know, started with making music, made short films out of it, got a bunch of different artists in different mediums to react to it and create paintings, metalwork, photography, and then we've grown it into this situation where wherever you book us to perform, we will go from anything from a intimate film screening to a full-on immersive exhibition and theatre show, and whatever the universe brings us and the Most High and ancestors direct us to, that's what we'll be doing in the future.
Incredible, man.
It's powers.
So innovation. So innovative. Yo, so basically, we're here to celebrate this amazing event that's coming. But before we get into that, I want to give the people that are watching right now a bit of background on the introduction to EOW, man. What is EOW?
Dub. Yo, dub.
EOW. EOW is the largest MC challenge worldwide, I would say, because it's an MC challenge, not a battle. It's the longest running open mic in New York, and currently we are active in over 20 countries.
Wow.
You know, so the branch out of it is beautiful. Started in 2000, and if you were to think of it, 20 countries, it's almost like every year is a new country added on, you know? There's that kind of vibe to the way we've expanded. There's 20 countries that span over 5 continents, which is, not a lot of people can say they're represented over 5 continents, you know what I mean? Started from the founders over a game of chess.
Oh, wow.
So how do we make a hip-hop challenge without the teardown methods? You know, without the battle and the bad blood? How can we make it a full MC challenge where you're scrutinized by your disciplines and different categories as well. So you have to, you know, it's fully thought out, and it was done by, you're more the historian when it comes to this, but Joey Tai. So salute Joey Tai. Man like Vice Versus, major salute. Sun Tzu, Bong, Propane. There's a whole history of people that started, and I think it started as Eye to Eye. Eye to Eye with Vice Versus and Pro's group, which connected with Nunzio's group. I can't remember what it's called, but they all connected up to make this thing we have now, which is End of the Week.
It's beautiful, man.
And yeah, it speaks for itself, you know.
Right. So it was born out of the underground hip hop movement, you know, and what we're really celebrating is lyricism
in the big way.
Yeah.
And not just lyricism. We're celebrating the MC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody can be a lyrical person. Doesn't mean you're an MC.
Right.
You know, there's multi-disciplines that comes with being an MC, and it's not just rapping.
Okay.
You know.
They really sat down and they planned this thing out. So you have to remember, you think about them sort of early 2000s, right? Or like the late 90s when the music industry they'd really dug their teeth into hip hop, you know what I mean? And they found that formula of, alright, get this famous person, put them together, pump enough money into it, will sell, right? And these men are on that underground level, grassroots, you know, the amount of people who pass through EOW and Freestyle Mondays and Legendary Cyphers on their way to become them people who are going to get, you know, that mainstream success, right? They're that foundation for New York City. And so they were like, we're in this era where battling is a thing in itself, and it's, you know, but the level of battling, you know, the things people would say to each other, still do say to each other, right? You know, to have to walk away from that, you know, it takes discipline in itself, but they were like, you know, there's more to being an MC than just being able to rip someone down or to be able to make a pop record, you know what I mean? And so they really sat down. Joey Tai had the original idea, brought the groups together to really focus and think about what does it mean to be an MC, to be a rapper, to be a lyricist, right? And came up with this criteria, and this is why someone like Lupe Fiasco, with his mind, recognizing these things, the way he's championed this, and other people have championed it over the years, to say that there's rigor in the criteria. It's not just, I like this, or this is good. You have to tick these boxes. You have to have this grading criteria to say you have stage presence, you have lyrics, you have the ability to interact with the crowd, you have the ability to project your voice, you know, to really demonstrate that you can work with others when you're ciphering, you know what I mean, to be able to freestyle, to be able to do all these different things.
All the things that make up an MC.
Right. So what are the challenges, man? How do we break this down?
We're going over 5 rounds of goodness. The first round, we want to know about your artist. So it's the written round, officially, but I wanted to be very focused on artistry. So in that round, I want you to bring the artist, who is the person you're trying to put out to the world. The second round is the part where we find out if you got substance, or is it all beats. That's the a cappella round.
Right.
I think it's one of my most powerfulest rounds visually. Because when someone hits a perfect a cappella, you can hear a pin drop.
Right.
And the messages that's been throughout the EOW throughout the years is intense. It's intense. It's against. It's anti-borders, you know.
Right.
And the establishment. We're not here to shy away from speaking truth. So that round's very powerful on what can be presented.
Right.
And feeds into the spoken word, you know, like the real poetry scene as well, you know. I think some people don't know enough about in London and in New York, I think as well, the massive poetry scenes, you know, and so that's why it attracts more than just kind of people who you might be like, oh, it's just rappers or it's just freestylers.
Right.
You know, if you're a real poet, if you're a wordsmith, that's your round.
That's your round. Then the third round, grab bag. So we get our Black Santa, Superstar Kissy, to come on, and Kissy comes on with this grab bag where you pick out random items and have to rap about it. Just to show your improv abilities, and do you have that, you know, instant freestyle skill that people are lacking nowadays.
Right.
Because rappers don't freestyle no more.
This ain't freestyle where you wrote it a while ago and you're rapping it over a beat that's not yours.
Here's a freestyle on a fresh beat.
No. This is freestyle as it's meant to be. Improv off the dome. Let's go.
Okay.
And then you get the fourth round, which is beat juggling or man vs DJ.
Right.
however you want to put it, but it's basically the test of the MC to see can you be riding multi-genres.
Okay.
So, excuse me, so you're not pocketed to just the hip-hop vibe. We want to know if you can be that garage MC.
Right.
Can you jump on a jungle track?
Okay.
You know, and this is where I find it opens up the scope to who can enter.
Okay.
Because we're not just looking for boom bappers.
Yeah.
You know, this is the part where you can be anybody and master that round.
Right.
So I like that round for the sake of versatility.
Okay.
And
That's when I get to find it.
It's been a thing where in the past, it was a thing where we would instruct or ask the DJ who's doing that round to be like, make it as hard as possible.
Yeah,
for the round.
mess
You know
them
what
up.
I mean? Man like Jazz T will be that guy who'll be playing things that have got no drums,
Yeah.
things that will change time signature halfway through,
Yeah.
all them things. And it's like, no, that's a different skill. To be able to just keep rapping over anything is a thing.
Right.
But over the years, we've been like, you know, between us and Snuff, big up Snuff, the founder
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
EOW England.
Who we'll talk about. 'cause
Yeah,
yeah, we'll get
important
back
to this whole
to
thing.
that.
But
Yeah.
it's a thing where we were like, you know what, in London, in the melting pot of London, and all the genres and styles that have come out of this city, really and truly, we don't want to be trying to trip people up. We want to be putting on a dance in that round.
Right.
You know, are you
The
in a
best
grand
show.
rave? Are you, you know, someone like a, you know, Stormin, you know what I mean? Again, rest in power. You know what I mean? Man can rap over any genre. You know them ones, and you can shell down a set. You know what I mean? And that's what we're looking for in that round.
Okay. And then the final rounds?
The 360 degrees
Yeah.
cipher. This is where we see if you can bounce off others.
Right.
How well you interact with your other MCs and so forth.
Okay.
How good your brain power off the top
Yeah.
or lyrical.
Right.
You know, it's just a 4-bar medley.
But can you count 4 bars? That's the thing.
Good question.
The amount of
A lot
times you've seen people just be like, 1 bar, 2 bar,
Yeah.
quiet, or keep going and mash up the whole thing, you know? So that's where that, what you call it, camaraderie ship, you know, them ones working together. There's 4 of you, maybe sometimes 8 of you on stage, go in and collectively, on the spot, put a show on,
Right.
you know?
Which, when done right, that's absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
It's like a whole vibe. But that's all the rounds, man.
That's all the rounds. Alright, so let's backtrack a little bit. You spoke about EOW having over 20 chapters around the world, you know. So let's go to the origin of EOW England. Where did it start for that?
So,
The big Don himself.
straight up, man like DJ Snuff.
DJ
Anyone who
Snuff.
don't know about DJ Snuff, you don't really know about what going on in this city. The brother has been programming some of the baddest events for the last 20-something years. Do you know what I mean? And there's like, he's a pillar and an integral part of the hip hop scene in this country and beyond. You know, from
culture.
straight.
Because he
You know,
promotes everything.
Congo Natty's go-to DJ, you know, for years. You know, so we're talking the jungle scene there, all kinds of things. You know,
Dead
so
Prez anytime they touch over here.
all of these heads from all over the world, and he travels all over the world doing the thing, you know. So salute Snuff all day. Put a lot of us on, put a lot of people on, you know, from Speaker's Corner, and you know, real. What do you call squat party days? You know, them ones are just taking over buildings and doing things. That's why I got, you know, I cut my teeth in that scene, and that brother put me on stage.
Right.
You know, when I was young, because he sees the vision. And that's what he does. He sees vision in people. You know, so all these, a lot of these jazz heads, like, you know, the Blue Lab Beats, and he's had them down at
Ezra
EOW
Collective,
events. All
Sumo
of these.
Chief, he had them
You know.
way before, man.
And it's, you know, so his vision is powerful. So when someone come to him from New York and was like, we're doing this thing EOW, he got it straight away, you know, and he was like, yeah, we need that in this country, right? So he took on the reins. And
2006.
2006, yeah.
Wow.
So the first one they done, Webified, we got Webified, who was the original EOW champion, became like the global ambassador and was just going around the world, like popping up chapters, you know what I mean? Come to England. And the first one was, I think, at Dill Real. Obviously, everyone knows what Dill Real is about.
No, some don't.
Well,
For those
But
that
if you
don't
know, if you know, you know. You get me?
yeah, Dill Real was the
is
mecca.
stable.
It was the mecca for London hip hop. You know, if you didn't go down Dill Real, you weren't an MC, right? So everyone come from all over the world to that spot. So Snuff knew that was the spot, and Estelle was the host of the first one. You know, legend, and a bunch of, you know, just fire MCs. I can't remember who exactly was in it in that first one, but from when Estelle was hosting it, you know the levels, right? So my man just pulled in the fire and set it off. People loved it, and he's been putting it on ever since. We've hosted the World Final here, I think twice.
Oh wow.
Categoric. Won it in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I think either Stig or Jack won it here on home turf. I can't remember which one. But yeah, so we've had the first two. I think there was an original world champion. I think it was in Spain, but it wasn't like everyone doing full seasons. But the first one that I know of, first world champion, Stig of the Dump, and I think he won it back to back.
Oh wow.
And then Jack won it.
The UK took that.
Yeah. So foundation of EOW Global, EOW England. Foundational champions, man.
We got that. Yeah.
So obviously being a former EOW champion yourself, man, you know, you've had the opportunity to compete in other countries. What has that experience been like to fly the flag in different countries?
It's the experience that makes me ambassador of what I'm doing now. You know, why I go around as artistic CEO, you know.
Right.
I like
how you said that so quietly. Like,
just casually.
So you're the current artistic CEO of EOW England.
I'm the director.
The director. Okay.
And the reason I did that is because of my belief in it. You know, I entered like everyone else does, willy-nilly, just trying to bust bars. You know. And then in busting bars, I went through these heats.
Yeah.
Some of them were legendary. One with Apex.
Right.
Apex and Marv.
Okay.
That was Fire and Silver Bullet. Yeah, we went at it, gauntlets and everything. That year I lost to Stig of the Dump.
Okay.
And Stig of the Dump went on to represent for us. That was 13.
Must have been 20.
Yeah, 2013. And the World Final was in the UK that year.
Right.
So, you know, this is like sod's law to me. Cause I could have won that year and gone down to Hootenanny, done what I done. Bukai.
Right.
But instead, the universe makes me win the following year.
Okay.
And then winning the following year, the prize trip was to go to Uganda.
Uganda?
You know, the Pearl of Africa.
Yeah.
In which
homeland, motherland.
I go there with an eye-opening experience that I couldn't even explain at the time.
Right.
The gas alone from winning had me. I was like, right, what? I'm going to Africa. Shut up. Get out to Uganda and little things like hip hop over here is very white, weirdly enough. You can go to a UK hip hop crowd and spot a few blackheads, but it's predominantly white, especially if it's out of London, you know.
Right.
But when I went there, I was literally playing Spot the White Person. It's so different to have that energy of rapping to your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that blew my mind.
Okay.
Instantly, I was like, this is a whole different ball ground we're playing with now. People resonate and respond to you different.
Okay.
You know, especially as a Rasta man at the time when I'm walking around with the big long locks and everyone's Rasta. You just get caught up into that energy.
Right.
And then that eye-opening experience brought me back. Like, that was one of the greatest things I've ever done in music. Me personally, it just felt like the greatest thing I've ever done in music is that. Because as well as seeing Uganda, I've seen a vulture in a tree outside the World Final, you know. Things like that blew my mind. The little things. I've seen a marabou, which are like these laughing bears that shit on everybody.
Wow.
But they're humongous, you know. And if you never have this experience, you will never see these things. So like, thanks to EOW that did that. 2015, I went back and represented in Montreal.
Wow.
Montreal was beautiful again. A certain level of camaraderie, you know. We all get together and they show you the city in a way that most people probably won't see the city.
Right.
You know, because you get there and you're being guided into a world of hip hop as the hip hoppers see it. So not just going around looking for a good show and we'll show you the radios, we'll show you where the graffiti centers are, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Came back from there like, this is this next level. And speaking with Snuff was ready to step down, so I was like, look, I'll happily fly the flag, take over the mantle. So from 2016, we co-ran it until Snuff thought I was good enough to take the flag and go on. And now, currently me and Apex has been keeping it alive. Right. Since 2018?
That's amazing.
2017. Yeah.
Wow. So Apex, so you're obviously you've helped set up a chapter in Asia, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about that.
Fam, yeah, China. So I moved to. It was around the time, I guess, when Snuff took when Math took this over from Snuff. I went out to China in 2014.
Okay.
Just as a thing, I put my album out, I'd done what I needed to do, and I was like, you know what, I need to get out of this country, I need to see the world, I need to go do some different things. So I moved out there, took an opportunity that came my way, and I wasn't even there to do music like that. Do you know what I mean? I was there to just travel and to work and to see things. And within about 3 months, I found the hip hop scene, I found the drum and bass scene, the bass music scene, and they just embraced me. They loved what I was on, I loved what they were on. It was a time in Chinese history when it was this overlap of a generation who had been like denied external influences, and then it all came at once through the internet. You know what I mean? As well as a bunch of international people who was in the country just ready to party, students and young workers just. And it's like, yeah, it was a real special time, fam. And I watched hip hop go from this thing where it was this subculture where people would be turning up to sort of small spots and having these mad parties, but it was never going to go anywhere bigger than that. People have been doing it for sort of a long time and just trying to struggle to carve out a living. This TV show come along, Rapper China, and in the 2 years I was there, I went from this subculture to being the biggest thing in the country overnight. You know, this one TV show comes out and bang, you know, people come up to me going, yo, can you freestyle? Now that's the catchphrase. And to watch my brethren go from, struggling to make a living to being like, boom, here's your chance to become a superstar overnight. Wow. Not even by going on the show, just because now there's a hunger for it. It was wild. And so for the way that they'd embraced me and brought me in and given me all these kinds of opportunities, I managed to tour China multiple times, Japan, other parts of Asia, got around, doing this thing. To me, the best way that I could think to say thank you for providing opportunities for me was to bring EOW there. Oh wow! I can't think of any better thing to give to a scene than End of the Week. You know what I mean? And so that's what I tried to do. And DJ Steve's come out there with me to represent, and my brother Jackson Turner, rest in power, MC Webber, General Huge, the DB Bros fam as they were at the time. We put this thing together, and we started off with it being Dungeon Beijing. I've got a bit of Dungeon Beijing always. We put this thing together. It was supposed to be just Beijing, but the call went out, and we had heads coming from all over the country to get involved in this thing, to the point where we had to have a massive cypher to even get the contestants. Do you know them ones there? And to me, again, it's like them men are doing their thing out there, massive scene, but it's hard for them to get abroad. So to actually have someone, big up my brother Sweet, for him to be able to come out to France, and he's massive over there. But to him to get his first international show in Paris in a world final, it meant the world to me to be able to do that for my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And so, man like C-Jam, big up C-Jam, flying the flag out there, running EOW China, and again he's just figuring out the way to sort of get it moving after COVID. So.
And it's mad, 'cause when we speak to them, it's like, sometimes I don't comprehend how big they are. Until he says to me, hey, we spent 12,000 just on lighting. Wow. And I'm like, okay, we're talking different settings here, So they're doing it on a major level out there. And respectively in each chapter, there's blossoming things happening. So like Montreal, major shout out to Montreal, because they've blossomed and taken it to national TV.
International TV.
International TV.
They're on French language streaming sites that are international.
Wow. And then on top of that,
and is that weekly programming?
It was seasonal.
Okay.
They had 2 seasons and then they stopped it and took it from TV to schools.
Okay.
They started in 8 schools this year. They're in 40 schools.
Wow.
So they are actually teaching EOW as a curriculum pretty much. That's insane on another level. So these flourishing things that happen, we've had EOW France, they was on Who Got Talent, France Got Talent, one of them absolutely showed it and did their thing. So the representations come from all different places, New York doing a great online one last year with the Diesel sponsorship and everything. The growth is coming. It's coming from no longer grassroots, but gonna be something that you have to look out for.
Okay. So is this year a special anniversary?
Or,
Technically, yes.
yeah.
Because of COVID, we never got to do our 20-year anniversary.
Okay.
I still
Yeah.
mourn that year, fam, because
Yeah,
it was a
that,
you know
that,
it
that
was,
year's a lot because we lost great ones as well.
yeah, fam. It was we had a
So,
plan, and it was
you
a
know.
thing where 2000 was the origin, and so it's 20 years, right? And the whole plan of those 20 years was to get all of the best,
Yeah.
and we go back to New York,
Okay.
back home, and we do this thing.
Mhm.
And we had set up. We'd already started. We went to the first show in Prague.
Yeah.
We had Nigeria lined up. We had China lined up. We had a world tour essentially as EOW England to go around to every final, represent, and then go to the world final.
Right.
And then the first show was February. By March, obviously,
Yeah.
bang.
The
You
world
know,
Mad
shut
things.
down.
and
Yeah.
instead of having our celebration, we lost our founder. You know,
Ah.
so vice versa. Jason Williams, he passed away. The impact it had on us was a lot as a community. We also lost my brother Jackson Turner, who started the China chapter with me, and we lost our brother Ty.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
We
you know,
hosted the the England final that year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
One by one.
it was a lot of loss to deal with, but you know, in true EOW fashion, the whole online streaming thing that was done for EOW New York, instead of it was set up as a way to us to just come together and to talk and celebrate Vice's life,
Okay.
and that streaming service never stopped. That
Right.
Zoom room stayed open.
Yeah, it was a Zoom that was just meant to be a memorial, a quick memorial,
Yeah.
and then it carried on for days.
Yeah.
So they said, when did they stop this? And they said, do you know what? We'll take a break at 121. So 121 hours we stopped,
Right.
took a break, and that evolved into a whole Zoom TV series.
Wow.
So you could go there and have industry advice on Monday with Mr. Mech. You can go have EO Zoom, EO Beats competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Online we had EO Freestyle.
Mm.
So every Friday or Sunday it was like we link up and we freestyle over the net and all these things. So
Had the history session.
man.
With all like man bringing out like the ticket stubs from the first shows and
Wow.
history
And then
stories and
deep sessions where we're talking about fatherhood
Mm.
amongst us and as like black men and growing up inside this culture and everything. How does that, so like the levels that it went to turned into actual programming.
Right.
So from a memorial Zoom
Mm.
that lasted 121 hours because of eye to eye,
Yeah.
1-to-1, turned into a whole program series that you could pretty much tune into all week.
I would be waking up, logging on.
Yeah.
Finish work, logging on.
There's just
You know,
things
and
always
it's
going
just-
on, and it
yeah.
was well done until we was at the point where we almost wanted to do it. So America start, and then as that time zone's dying out,
Yeah.
us pick up, and
Right.
as we dying out, we switch over to another because we could technically do this all around the globe
Wow.
by how we're connected.
So basically, it shows you what the potential could be as well.
For sure.
You know.
My thing is, if we consolidate to one nucleus,
Mm.
this is probably bigger than most record labels
Wow.
because the outreach is already there.
Yeah.
That's
Because
incredible.
this is the thing, fam. Is that once you're in the family,
Yeah.
you got that ticket to the rest of the world. You know,
Mhm.
and it's we both done it. Like other champions we know have done it. It's just sort of like I've got a show, I've got a tour coming up. Yo, Paris, what you saying? Can you put me on? Yo, Brussels, you got a thing? Can you put me on? Yo, Nigeria, can you put us on? Yo, Argentina, who knows someone out? Da 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 da. And it's
you're getting looked after.
you're getting if you need shows, you're getting booked. If you need radio, you're getting booked. You know them ones, and
Okay.
it's amazing, fam. And I remember even my brother, it speaks volumes about Vice. One of the brothers, Jahari from China, he was just going to New York on holiday.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, do you know anyone out there who can take me and my girl around?
Yeah.
And Vice was like, yeah, cool. Tell him to call me. He calls him. My man takes him to go see Pete Rock and Ghostface in concert and goes to meet them.
Right.
And that's you imagine wanting to be able to do that and then
Yeah.
just that's what you get to do.
So it's a real global family.
Tell
It
you a
is.
beauty as well about Vice. Vice is a champion character.
Right.
And the reason Lupe advocates for us is because of Vice.
Right.
So Lupe came to the People's Forum, I think it was last year or the year before,
Right.
just to watch because he's heard about it. And everybody whispers, so, but no one's actually going to Lupe.
Right.
And Vice was like, what, Lupe's in the building? And went straight up to him and goes, you're in the house of the dub. If you come here, you got to rap. You get me? I made Lupe rapping, him rapping. he's like, I didn't even want to rap, but he ended up doing a little thing. Then he starts meeting man like Osiris Anthem, who he's like, this guy's the best in the world, you know, and then ended up championing us to the point, I don't know if it was staged or not, but he had the good old beef with Royce, and they were going back and forth, and he just kept telling Royce, you can't say you're the best unless you've been to the dub.
Yeah.
You know, and to come from Lupe, that's crazy lyricism. You know,
that's a massive cosign, man.
So, you know what's sorry, just to cut that, he's one of many, fam. Like Nems, Immortal Technique, KRS-One, like the list goes on, and Homeboy Sandman, you know what I mean? Like the heads who either come up through the dub,
Run DMC.
There you go. Like it's
Run DMC
levels.
came on, and no, we got a dude called Sanzu.
Right.
And Sanzu did a KRS freestyle, 2 KRS that made KRS say what the hell, because it was pinpoint accurate, detailing his albums almost in the timeline.
Wow.
You know, and this was proper off the head business. Like Zoo's phenomenal. So the levels we bring and so forth.
And what's
it
wild?
speaks for itself.
What's wild about that as well is every chapter will have stories like that. So like France, we
Crazy
might not
stories.
appreciate who 1995 are, but in France, 1995 are the thing. You know what I mean? Like Rez Turner, that guy is hailed.
Monster.
You know what I mean? I've seen this guy battling Spanish rappers in an arena somewhere in South America or Central America. Like, you know what I mean? So like where we are kind of biased by our language. You know what I mean? In Francophone world, EOW rings bells.
Right.
In the Chinese world, EOW rings bells.
Right.
In the English speaking world, EOW rings bells. You know
We're winning.
This is it.
We're winning.
That's incredible, man. So that brings us to 2023 right now.
Right now.
We got a big event that's happening on the 8th of October. Please let the people know what's this event and why we need to be there, man.
Yo, this is the Challenge of Champions. This is the one where we bring back all the champions that have been before, the ones that can make it, should I say, and we make them have a little hoorah, the last hoorah, you know. We're bringing in wild cards too, because I want them to feel tested. I don't want them to feel like it's an easy journey. I want those new bloods that feel like they can take out the champions to come and represent.
Prove it.
And on the 8th, we will be in Island 02, Room 2.
Right.
And we will represent and find our UK champion to take to New York for October the 29th.
Right.
So they can go out there and represent for England in New York in the World Finals.
Yeah.
Which is set on a big platform. So the 8th of October, 02 Islington, Room 2, with a sick ass lineup, you know.
Yeah. What's the lineup, Apex?
We got Illerman, we got Double Edge, we got Sanity, we got DJ Jazz T, we got DJ Snuff, we got DJ Sarah Love
with my Stiggy,
tag team in it, you know what I mean? Me and Mass are gonna do our thing.
Yeah. And then we got a list of champions.
Yeah, the champions are Rob Bradley, aka Jack Flash. He won it under the name Jack Flash. DK.
Right.
G-Bag, who's a three-time England EOW England champion. So I've got to say as well, Rob Bradley is a EOW world champion, right?
Oh wow.
That's one of those foundational champions. And then our last champion, who's Menace Mendoza, Lab 79 fan. You get me?
Oh, amazing. And DK is the first UK or EOW England female champion, right?
Yes, first one in England, but we have had
Categoric.
World champion. Yeah, Categoric. I guess she's blowing up in the sort of francophone world. She played Shambhala, I think, as well this year.
She's amazing.
Yeah, one of the best MCs I've ever seen perform, fam.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Her live show is actually something to marvel at because it's very cohesively backed with dance. So when she comes out, there's points where she becomes the MC, and she's not even on stage. She's next to the DJ at the back.
Wow.
And the dancers are just taking front and center and blowing the whole thing away. So again, the levels are up.
Yeah.
The night's set.
Yeah.
I want to have a pop-up, so keep your eyes tuned. So I can have one more wild card try and enter from a pop-up. But the night is set for October the 8th.
Right. So where can people get the tickets from?
It's on our website, so EOW, EODUB.co.uk. It's on Eventbrite, so you can search it on there, and it's on Ticketmaster through the O2 Academy.
Just type end of the week, and I do not mean the day. I mean strength. So end of the week.
Yeah.
and you will find it. Ticketmasters, Eventbrite, or just go to our site.
And for all those rappers,
find that link.
For all them rappers out there, if this might not come out in time for you to do the online competition, but come to the pop-ups in London and around, because if you enter this thing, not only do you get to perform in New York, right? When we say the levels that are being set out there, the Hip Hop 50th anniversary,
Mad.
Freestyle Mondays, legendary ciphers, and end of the week, they finished that whole thing as the homage being paid to them as the underground grassroots organizations. They did an event on Times Square, and you see the whole big end of the week world final being advertised on the biggest screen in Times Square.
Wow.
We're going to be playing iconic venues like Harlem Jazz Museum and Chelsea Music Hall. You know, like, this is your opportunity. You're at that stage where you feel like you can go to New York and represent in hip hop. Take your opportunity. Come
And I
down,
don't care
show
about
us.
your levels too. If you're a person that's made it and you just want to challenge yourself, man. Because when you come in this realm, don't worry about your made it status. It means nothing. I will judge you like the next person.
Straight.
Right.
Real talk.
Man, I mean, and there's going to be guest judges as well, right?
Yeah.
We got the legendary Johnsy D.
Johnsy
He's on my
D,
t-shirt
sir.
right now, breaking convention royalty. Sarah Love, again, you know, royalty. If you know about hip hop in this country,
Nice.
My Stiggy, royalty. If you know
Absolute
about
showman, innit?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So that, you know, it ain't just any riffraff judging
Yeah.
you know, levels.
That's amazing. That's going to be a legendary night, man. So what's the socials, man? If people want to get in touch and follow the movement, how can they get in touch?
Go to EOW England for the Instagram, but better yet, just go to EOW.co.uk. Funnel everything today. You will see everything that's happening. We are going to make absolute waves, and look out for what's about to happen next year with the youth movements, the workshops and stuff.
Yeah.
The EOW agency. So I'm gonna make an agency of MCs that will run workshops for, you know, corporate bonding events, youth centres, schools, all these kind of things. So there's a lot of things to come. Just EODUB.co.uk. Everything you need.
Also, I will say, we're coming to your towns, fam. Do you know them ones? Like, we're spreading around England, and anyone who's interested in organising EOW Scotland, EOW Wales, EOW Ireland, holla. You know them ones, because we're breaking down this colonial thing. We were once EOW UK, it's EOW England now. Yeah, because we need heads in those countries to represent their scenes, and we come together. You get me?
Amazing, amazing. Apex Zero, thank you so much.
My brother.
Maslow,
My
brothers,
Jenna.
looking forward to this event on the 8th of October. Islington Academy, EOW champions.
Buckeye!
Dub life.
That's what's up. Till
Vice
next time.
versus.
If you want to be the best, go to EOW. Period.
Stop looking at the bro. Go full wedge.
Go full wedge.
Get them wedge comments in the comment section.
So what happened to Mass? He's on creatine.
This is so creative.
Fucking ain't, bro.
Oh, I love that.
This is taking the powders.
This is mad taking the